What's happening, people? Thank you for listening. Let's get straight to it. This podcast is all about reservations at a restaurant. How do you make a reservation? And what do you say when you have a reservation and you arrive at the restaurant? So, if you want to make a reservation, it's very simple. You call them up and you say, hey, I'd like to make a reservation. I'd like to book a table. I'd like to see if I can get a table. I'd like to see if I can get a table for 3 at 2 p.m, please. Generally, after that, you get asked a question. What's the name? Who is it under? Can I have your name, please? And of course, then you just give your name, probably also give you a number, or you will give them your number. Now, when you arrive at the restaurant, you obviously just walk up and you say, hey, I have a reservation for Ronan. Now, don't say Ronan, that's me, so change that for yourself, obviously. Hey, my friend called ahead and made a reservation. I believe it's under the name Scott. Hey, my friend called ahead and made a reservation. I think the name is Scott. Hi, I'm here with Scott. I think he made a reservation for 6 p.m. Yes, the reservation is under Scott. So generally, we will put a reservation under your name. You can choose first or last. It depends where you go. Most of the bars I frequent don't even do reservations. But you would say the reservation is under blah, blah, blah. Hey, my friend called ahead and made a reservation. I believe the name is Scott. I believe it's under Scott. And that's something you can say when you arrive before your friend arrives. Now, there's times when you get to a restaurant or even before you go, and you're on the phone and you might want to confirm the reservation. Very simple. So we have a table for 2 at 3 p.m, right? We often use right. We use right as a tag after what we say to confirm. So just to confirm, we have a table for 2 at 4 p.m, right? Okay, so just to recap, that is a table for 6 on the 15th of December at 6 p.m, right? So can I just confirm we have a table for 3 at 5 on Sunday? So just to confirm, we got a table for blah, 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 blah. Now, another thing that is incredibly important when it comes to restaurant, and speaking English, I guess, is changing a table or requesting a particular table. I always laugh at this one because whenever we go to a restaurant as a family and my mum is there, she never wants to be around children. You know, she says she's done her time. She's raised 3 kids. And if she sees a child nearby, she'll do her damnedest to make sure we're sitting far away from that child. Absolutely love it. She takes no shit. So, to change our... Actually, sorry, this is just another tangent. No, let's not go on tangents. There's a very direct podcast. Excuse me. Now, to change our requested table. Can we get the seat by the window? Can we get the seat out on the patio? Is there a table free on a patio? Is there a table free on the patio? Is that table over there free? And that's like before you sit down. You could also say, could we change tables? Sorry, would you mind if we shifted that table over there? I'm sorry, but do you know if there's any other tables free? Could we get a seat for upstairs? Excuse me, is there any space on the balcony? Is there any space available on the balcony? So a couple of different ways to talk about changing or requesting a table. Now, one thing I'll give you a heads up on, I don't know how it works everywhere, but generally speaking, when you are sitting in a restaurant, you have a server. And the server is responsible for you and responsible for tables in your vicinity. If you move tables, sometimes they might ask you to close the bill and reopen another bill. I guess it just depends. But that is something that is interesting. So always make a note of that to see if you can find a table in the same server's area. I hope that makes sense. All right, then there's like restaurants that you don't phone ahead for. You know, just walk-in restaurants. Because there are many different types of restaurants. There's restaurants where you must book ahead. There's walk-in only restaurants. There's restaurants that are no walk-ins. So you must, as I said, book ahead. There's high-end restaurants, there's low-end restaurants. And I would be a person who frequents walk-in restaurants more so than having to book a table. However, if I want to go to a fancier one, a nicer one, and it's on a Friday, it's on a Saturday, then yes, booking ahead will be nice. But let's talk about the walk-in restaurants. When you walk into a restaurant, generally speaking, you are greeted by a host. A host or a hostess, but I think host is the common term now. And the host is there to greet you and to bring you to a table or to just guide you and tell you what's up. So you arrive, and if there's a host, you can say, is there a table free? I have a party of 3. Party of 3. They will confirm it by saying, oh, a party of 3. You say yes. Or if they look at you and they say, oh, a party of 3. Then you can say yes. Or you can say, no, one more is coming. One more is on the way. One is delayed. They'll be here in 5 minutes. So is this table free? Excuse me, are there any tables available at this hour? Is there any tables available now? Sometimes they might say, there's a 30-minute wait for a table. And what happens then? If there's a 30-minute wait for a table, they generally also offer to put you on the list. I can put you on the list if you'd like. Would you like me to put you on a list? I can put you on the list. Would you like to be put on the list? I'll just need your phone number. Please give me your number and you'll get a message when the table is free. Sure, just enter your number here, please. And I might give you a tablet to type in your number. So that is if they ask you if you'd like to be put on the list. And that just means that when a table comes free, they call whoever's first on the list and they go down through it until someone takes the table. You know, it might not be a bad idea if you really want food from this restaurant. It might not be a bad idea if you can just sit at the bar and wait for a table to open. Or it might not be a bad idea if that restaurant is located right beside a bar. Go in, have a drink, and wait for a table because your phone will buzz. So that is quite common here, actually. Now you might say, no, it's okay, thanks, we'll find somewhere else. No thanks, we'll go elsewhere. And there's no problem with that. There's absolutely no problem with not putting your name down. I have been in this situation many a time. We've gone somewhere, it's full. They say 15-minute wait. You know what? Screw it, we'll go somewhere else. We're just looking for a drink or something. Now, sometimes they might say, let me see if I can squeeze you in. To squeeze you in. I'm sorry, we're all booked out tonight. Sorry, we're not taking bookings. If you call ahead, you might say, excuse me, do you do bookings for Saturday afternoons or should I just walk in? How early should I book for Sunday afternoon? Father's Day, Thanksgiving, a Christmas office party. Right now it's October. Some ads on the radio are advertising Christmas parties already because come December, Kelowna, where I live, is going to be absolutely hopping in the bars. It's going to be so busy in the bars, and all the office parties go out. All the company parties have Christmas parties, and they all get shit-faced in town. And so you might need to book well ahead in advance if you want a table on that night. Or if you want to have an office party, you must book well ahead. I guarantee you, a lot of people have already booked tables in restaurants and bars, probably for next Mother's Day and next Father's Day. They do that so far in advance here. So overall, I guess, the aim of this lesson was just talk about restaurants. And one last thing that we should say. Sometimes you need to notify the restaurant you're going to be late. And I've had to do that as well, once or twice. When you think you're going to make it to a restaurant, but you know you're going to be 10, 15 minutes late, you call them. And what do you say? Hey, I have a reservation in like 5 minutes, and I'm just letting you know I'm running late, and I'm going to be there. Please hold the table. Hold the table. That's what you want them to do. There have been other times when I've been in restaurants, and I've been at a table by myself, and I've had people come over, and I've had to just say like, oh no, sorry, I'm holding the table for some friends. And then the server comes over and they're like, hey, so where are your friends? And I have to keep making up excuses. It is what it is. But you would call the restaurant, hey, it's Scott. I have a table for 5 p.m. Just letting you know I'm running a little bit late, but we'll be there. So please don't give away the table. Thanks a million. Something like that is all you need. So overall, folks, this podcast all about making a reservation, arriving at a location, changing where your reservation is within the restaurant, seeing how far ahead you have to book a table at a restaurant, seeing about walk-in restaurants. What do you say at a walk-in restaurant? You know, sometimes you don't need a booking at all. There's one bar I go to in Kelowna where you walk in, and if there is no host, you just sit wherever you want. And there's only 2 servers. Or you walk in and the bartender says, sit where you want. You just grab a seat and they'll eventually come over to you, give you a menu, so on and so forth. Most of the restaurants, most of the bars here are, actually all the bars are table service. That means that you have to sit at your table and they will bring the drinks and they will bring the food to you. It's a weird cultural thing. Really put me in a loop when I first arrived. The fact that I couldn't just sit at a table in a bar, go up to the bar and get a drink. I have to wait for the server. I have to wait for like the middleman. But that's all for a different podcast. This is a short, sweet, direct, to the point podcast. 1 or 2 tangents. I feel very proud for not going on for too many. And all about restaurants. I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. Go out, have some fun, go to a restaurant and practice your English. Bye for now. And don't forget to check out my website, www.littlesealenglish.com. How to say it. Check it out. Give me a request. This podcast was a request. So if you got something you want to know, I'll do it in a very short podcast if it's direct and to the point. Let's go! Bye for now.